Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Hello there, this is Pete McPherson. I have been a full-time entrepreneur for about 8 years, but I have been starting online businesses in various forms since about 2009. And in that time, I have had a few e-commerce sites, over 75 plus websites in general, I think. About 20, maybe 30 blogs specifically. I have 3 YouTube channels. I have 2 podcasts, one of which has several million downloads. I've been in the online marketing, digital marketing, content creation business for almost 16 years at this point. I have also been coding on and off for about the same length of time. Nothing full-time. I have no official college degrees in computer science or development. I've been self-taught for over a decade in basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and I used to use jQuery a lot. And I would say the past 4 years, I have been full-time in development. Even before the rise of AI, I have been using SvelteKit and Svelte, JavaScript, Node.js to create apps. So I've created about a dozen in different formats. I think maybe 4 or 5 of which have been actual business with paying customers, some of which had quite a few customers. Others are just 3 or 4 customers because I released it to me and my friends or family or a very small audience of some sort, that sort of thing. So over 50 plus businesses over the past decade and a half. Been doing a little bit of everything, but really honing in on online marketing, quite frankly, and content creation.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
Because I am not currently spending any time or energy or money to grow it. I'm a startup founder. I'm an early stage startup kind of guy, and I did bring on some partners to do a little bit of marketing who had a nice audience, and they did that about 6 months ago, but they are also not looking to do this business full time. They have other businesses. It was just kind of a one-off thing that grew this current business to some nice revenue. And then we all kind of moved on. That was about 6 months ago, 5 months ago, and it's still got a good customer base, but I think none of us are going to be spending any time, energy, or money on growing it any further just because we have all moved on to other things. I'm doing a new business that I've been on for 3 or 4 months now, and it just needs somebody who can give any sort of resource to it at all.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
This project has almost no time or work being spent on it right now at all. I am the only one that does anything with it. And I think at this point, it is mostly just customer support, customer service. We are still getting some new customers trickling in, as well as the occasional bug or error or something from existing customers. And so I would say that's probably like 2 emails a week. It's very light. Every now and then I'll get hit with some AI errors just due to the rapidly changing AI APIs that are integrated within this app. and new models coming out, that sort of thing. And so I will go in and make some updates to the code, to the app, just to get it functioning again, quite frankly, and improving it as I go along just here and there. But overall, I would say less than 1 hour a week for sure. And that's just me at the moment. There's no employees, there's no contractors, freelancers, or anything. Just me, and about an hour a week. And that's probably being generous. Might even be more like 20 minutes a week, 30 minutes a week, just to answer a customer email or to troubleshoot an error, fix a quick bug, or something like that.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
If I were to keep this business, I think I would focus almost my entire time and energy and strategy on partners, only because I think it's probably the simplest and easiest to market. And there's not a lot of competition for this really specific app. It is pretty niche. And what little partnership marketing I did, I actually found it a very easy yes for them to have, if that makes any sense. So if I were going to keep this business, I would be reaching out to my contacts, people I already know and who have worked with me in the past, and building up some partners, doing some joint webinars or joint email campaigns, bringing them on as affiliates, like custom onboarding to make sure they have everything they need. I would focus most of my energy there. I would also look into paid ads, only because, again, there's not a ton of really specific direct competitors. And I think it might be pretty profitable to get ad spend up and running, specifically on Facebook, maybe YouTube, maybe some other platforms as well. But that's how I would grow it.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
Risks for this business. It's a two-part answer I have. Number one, I had initially created this mostly for SEO, Google, bloggers, creators, SEOs, content marketers, that sort of thing. And this was after Google's HCU, the helpful content updates, and algorithm changes. And I wondered if I should even be creating this app to begin with, quite frankly, just because of how volatile SEO has been for about a year and a half, 2 years now. Turns out that wasn't really an issue. There are still loads of people doing SEO, creating written content and trying to rank e-commerce product pages and everything really. That hasn't been an issue, but who's to say it won't be a risk going forward? I don't think anybody knows. I think the search landscape is continuing to change based on AI, and it looks like different things. I think I have done a pretty good job offsetting that just because it's not just an SEO app anymore. It actually does a whole lot more than that. And I've reached a lot of people who I might not have otherwise. So I think the ever evolving landscape of how people do content on the internet is probably the biggest risk.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
Support for buyers. Yeah, I am willing to be as available as I can be for whatever you need. Within reason, of course. I think I read somewhere that maybe 30 days was the average. I'm willing to do 60 or maybe even 90 days of additional support. I don't think it would be that difficult of a transition just because it's mostly just the app. There's no employees. This has been a solo run thing. It's very simple and straightforward to work on, I think. And it's a pretty simple and straightforward app. And the customers are great so far. So I don't actually think it would be that difficult of a transition to begin with. But again, within reason, I'm here to stay around for at least 60 days, I think. Maybe I'll just say 60 days just to come in right there. If anything else is needed, I'm open to negotiation.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
Possibly, although I think the current price of this business is based on the fact that we have actually done very little work on it. And I think if anybody comes in and does even just a tiny bit of marketing, they're going to see a drastic increase in revenue. I do not think it will be all that difficult to grow at all because we have not spent any time on it whatsoever for the most part. So I think it is priced according to that. And I think that's very fair for just a very standard payout, just a standard payout, if you will. That said, I believe I'm open to an earnout payout structure. I just think the metrics are really favorable right now to anybody who can put time and energy into this. And so I'm not sure why they would want that. But I'm open to hearing about it if anybody has any ideas that might be beneficial for all parties involved.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, Why is your business a business worth buying?
This one's really simple. It's successful. It's a great app, and it has a happy customer base. The marketing we did worked very well, and we have not done any marketing or sales or anything since then. It is just absolutely primed for anybody to come in who has an audience already or can get campaigns up and running. There's just money to be made. We just have not done a lot of marketing, and it's been very successful for what we did do 6 months ago. And I think the opportunity is just massive. I think that's a really simple question. If I'm a buyer looking at this, I'm asking myself, okay, can I get any marketing whatsoever up and running? Maybe that's content marketing, partnership marketing is probably where I would start and suggest looking first, or paid ads or anything. And if the answer is yes, I think this is a massive opportunity. I think it'll be a really easy way to grow, especially over the next short term, 6 months, 12 months, especially. I think there's massive opportunity there.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.